You don't need to write any of this down here. But I do not want to just throw a quiz and say good luck. I actually want to tell you what's on there, what to be ready for. And I don't hide anything. All right? I feed it to you. If you want to eat it or not, that's up to you. Remember what I told you first day of school? Expectations are pretty high in here. All right? So I want to make sure you are successful on this first quiz and you do not bury yourself. All right? What I like to say is some of you might need to bring a shovel next week because you buried yourself too much. All right? You got a big hole to get out of. Do not put yourself in that situation tomorrow. It's going to be 6 questions, 20 points. If some students care about that. So there it is. We've never heard of constructions before, but that's why you need your compass. All right, I'm going to introduce your first couple constructions. One of them will be on the quiz tomorrow. Points, lines, planes. Make sure you know your vocab. You will have to draw your own diagram. We've done that a couple times on, I think, day 2. All right, where I said, hey, I have a line XY with points A and B on it. Draw it. Okay, something similar to that. Algebra with segments. We've done a bunch of those. You've done a bunch of those on homework where I tell you, hey, this is 4x minus 20. This is 2x plus 1. The whole darn thing is 56. Find x. Okay, so that is what I'm talking about, algebra with segments. All right, you add up these two, set it equal to 56. I may ask to solve for x. I may ask to solve for one of the line segments, how long they are. We're going to go over midpoint today, but you are going to need to know the distance formula. I've warned you that already. That's on your own. Bring that with you. And also, I'm going to introduce a new formula today called the midpoint, which will also be on the quiz. And then finally, I told you this during the homework, there's a problem similar to the Ben and Kate one on there. Okay, so this is all up on Classroom. I want you to make a note. Hey, guess what's not on here? Day 1, what did we do? What was the topic on day 1? Fold it up, open it. You see it on here? Do you see it on here? That means it's not on there. I'm going to save that for the test. All right, so one less thing to worry about is a net tomorrow. Don't worry about nets. It's not on the quiz. This right here is what's on the quiz. What about this? No. What about that? No. Stop talking. Okay, this is what's on the quiz tomorrow. All right, I didn't want to bury you right away, but here's on the quiz. What's on the quiz? Whether you're prepared for it or not, that's your call. Any questions about the quiz tomorrow? So what I'm about to show you right now is also on the quiz, which you'll practice tonight. All right, ready to go? All right, I have one final vocabulary term for you that will be on the quiz, and that is midpoint. Okay, midpoint. Midpoint. You guys can read what a midpoint is up there on the definition. All right, what do we have here? A point on a segment that divides it into two congruent segments. So everyone, under this one, I have M as the midpoint of AB. Can everyone draw me segment AB, please? We're underneath the word conclude. Draw me segment AB. Hopefully we can do that going into the quiz tomorrow. Segment AB, and then I tell you that M is the midpoint. And now that we know a midpoint breaks it up into two congruent parts. So M has to go in a certain spot. It's not like the previous problems where we just put a point anywhere we want. So can you please put point M that looks like it breaks AB into two equal segments? So hopefully most of you are putting M right in the middle of the segment where it should go. Now, it looks like it's in the middle. What markings can I put on my diagram so you can actually tell me that this segment and this segment are the same length? We have actual markings here. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. What do you got? Hash marks, right, everybody? Hash marks. So please put hash marks on AM and MB. That shows me that they're congruent. And now what can we conclude? Line segment AM. Go ahead, put your congruent sign. Remember it? Do we remember it? Congruent. Might have to use it tomorrow. Congruent to MB. That's what a midpoint is. It is in the middle of a line segment, and it cuts it into two congruent segments. All right, cuts it into two congruent segments. Anything before we do an algebra problem? Midpoint in the middle cuts it into two equal parts. All right, go ahead. Let's draw this diagram again. M is the midpoint of AB. Go ahead. M is the midpoint of AB. Put your markings on your diagram too, please. So now we're going to do some algebra with this. AM, 2x plus 1. Label your diagram. 2x plus 1. AM, 2x plus 1. BM, 3x minus 4. Label it. 3x minus 4. BM. Find AM, BM, and AB. They're lengths, right? They're lengths. Okay, this is where you got to grow up, and I'm not saying it like be mean, be mature. This is where you got to grow up mathematically now, because this is what you guys have been doing. This is what's going through your mind right now. Don't write this down. 2x plus the other one equals the whole thing. Problem though, do we know the length of the whole thing? No, so that's hot garbage right now. All right, you can't just rely on that anymore. Those two pieces added up equal the whole thing, because I don't know what the whole thing is. This is why I say we got to grow up mathematically now. Can't use that anymore. But what do I know about each of the segments? Let me get this out of here. What do I know about each of those two smaller segments? Adriana, what do I know about them? They're equal, so I can set them equal now. I can say 2x plus 1 is equal to 3x minus 4. But I don't know that without what vocabulary term we're talking about right now. What was the vocabulary term that knew those two pieces were equal? Leo? Midpoint. That's the power of knowing your vocab. Midpoint told me that those two were equal, so I could set them equal. Everyone good? Okay, notice and we understand why I can't add them together and set them equal to the whole thing. I don't know what the whole thing is. Go ahead, solve. Solve for x. When you have the value of x, let me know. Going Eli, when you have x, let me know. 5, good. Too bad I wasn't asking for x though, right? Read the darn question tomorrow. X doesn't make you a winner. I guarantee it. X doesn't make you a winner. Read the darn question. I'm looking for AM, BM, and AB. Let's start with AM. Now that I know x, how can I find the length of AM? Sam?
Plug in 5.
Plug in 5. Yep, thank you. 2 times 5 plus 1. AM's 11. Not done yet. And I also asked for BM. BM, 3 times 5 minus 4. Oh, here's shocking news. What's that equal to? It better be, right? It better be, because we said those two segments were equal. And then AB, you can find AB a couple ways. Substitute x in twice, or just take your two segments and put them together. When you have the length of AB, let us know. Ooh, boy, suspense. And I'll have time. All right, I don't have time for that suspense today. 22. You got stuff to do. We good on this midpoint. Breaks it up into two congruent segments. Two segments that are congruent. Any questions before we go to our graph now? Because I want to put this on a graph, and like we did for distance yesterday, but now I want to find the midpoint. So go ahead, graph that first segment right there, please, on the next problem. Go ahead and graph AB. Find the midpoint. Do not confuse this with distance. I'm not asking for how long AB is. I want to know what the midpoint is. Find the coordinate of the point that's in the middle. And I don't think you guys can easily just count and go halfway. You can graph it, then name it. when you have the midpoint of AB, what point is in the middle there? Name the point, not how long it is. Leo, back to you. 4, 4. Yep. So the midpoint of AB is 4, 4. Good, everyone? And then go ahead and do the same thing for CD for me. Find the midpoint of line segment CD. Yes. You can if you want. It's not needed here. Just because we're finding the point. And when you have the midpoint of CD, let us know. Take your time if you don't, though. Just let us know when you have it, Dexter.
3, -1.
3, -1. Good job. Any issues finding the midpoint there? All right, well, we had no issues finding distance yesterday either when we could count. Remember, we ran into a problem, didn't we? We're not always going to be able to count. So what happens if I have a diagonal line? Coordinates that are really, really tough to graph. All right, look at the next example. We are not graphing those coordinates. Okay, so yesterday we did Pythag, but Pythag's not an option to find the middle of a line segment. And then I gave you the distance formula that I said you could use any time you want. You could use distance formula. Well, like distance, there's a formula to find the midpoint anytime you want. And here it is. No square root here. It's a coordinate, right? So get your parentheses with a comma separating them. Here's how we find the midpoint. It uses the same letters as distance, so don't confuse them, please. To find the x coordinate, we do x1 plus x2. And it's in the middle, so what do you think we're going to do? We got to find what's in the middle of those. Cut it in half. Okay? And then same thing for the y's. Add them together. Divide them by 2. You're in an AB course, and I know I can sound intimidating, mean sometimes. Figure it out. Do not get this confused with distance. I have zero sympathy for you. All right, I need to have a heart to have sympathy, first of all. All right, I don't have any sympathy for you tomorrow if you don't take the time tonight to make sure you know the midpoint and the distance formula when you're in an above average math class. All right, so get the job done. All right, here we go. First example. Find the midpoint between A and B. I think we can all agree those coordinates are not going to get graphed, and I'm not going to be able to count. So we are forced to use this new midpoint formula. So the first thing I need to know from somebody is, what are the x coordinates I am adding together? Adding together. Camilla, what are the x coordinates I'm adding together? 2 1/2 plus 3 1/4, all divided by 2. And then what are the y coordinates I'm adding up here? Y coordinates, 22, Candace?
1/4.
Good, 1/4 plus a -1. Don't drop that negative sign. Divided by 2. Just if you've never done this before on your numworks, no problem. If you would like to do that, what is it, 3 1/4? Or 2 1/2 plus 3 1/4, no problem. You hit your division sign 1, 2, 3 times. If you want to type what's called a mixed number in. So if you want to get that 2 1/2 plus 3 1/4 in, you can certainly do that. So 2 1/2 plus 1, 2, 3 times 3 1/4. And then divide that number by 2, right? In the midpoint formula, divide that number by 2. So there's your x coordinate. Remember, I asked yesterday, if your calculator provides a fractional answer, please leave it as a fractional answer. Okay, so give me 23/8 and not 2.875. and I'll let you guys do the y coordinate on your own. When you have the y coordinate, let me know. Lola, when you have it, let me know. Negative 3/8. Good work. I believe you guys are more tech savvy than I am. I believe there's a way to just type all of that into your calculator at once. It can be done. I'm not that tech savvy, so I do the top first and then hit divided by 2. But I think you can do it all at once if you're a little more tech savvy than I am. All right, any questions finding the midpoint? I'm not going to waste time doing more problems finding the midpoint. You type it into your calculator, add them, divide by 2. Here's what I want you to be able to do, this next one. What happens if you already know the midpoint? You already know the midpoint. You know one of the endpoints, and now I want to find the other endpoint. Okay, so I'm telling you the point in the middle. I'm giving you one endpoint. You got to find the other one now. Okay, that's what we're about to do up here. So let me just get a quick visual down here. We don't have to use it on a graph. Midpoint DG, the midpoint of DG is M. So everyone do DG for me real quick. DG. We'll put M in the middle because that's the midpoint. If you want to put your hash marks there, we can put your hash marks that say those are congruent. All right, M is negative 1,5. Boom, just put that right underneath. And point D is 1,4. What's point G? Ooh. Oh. Question? Gonna give me away? Or just plain answer? You sure? Go ahead.
X2 and Y2.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
I want to actually find the numbers though. Okay, we could do that, and then you could plug it into the midpoint formula and go from there. All right, I'm going to have a little bit of an easier method. Where's negative 1,5, everyone? Where's negative 1,5? It's the midpoint, so where's it located? Right where? In the darn middle. It's located right in the middle, isn't it? So however far D to M is, that's the same as M to G, because M is right in the middle. All right, let's take a look at what's the x coordinate on D? 1. I went from 1 to negative 1. 1 to negative 1. How many units did I just travel on the x-axis? In which direction? In the negative direction. Does everyone agree with everyone else? 2 in the negative direction. You said I'm right in the middle now. So don't I have to match that to go to the other side? I went 1, 2, I'm in the middle. Don't I have to match that to get to the other point? 1, 2. Where am I now? I was at negative 1. I went 2 more to the left. Where am I? Negative 3. All right. X is done. Let's go to the Y's. Where are you at point D on the Y-axis? 4. And I go to 5. How many units did I just travel? 1 unit where? Up, down, positive, negative? +1. And I'm now in the middle. So I got to match it. Go 1 more step. Where do you end up on the Y-axis? I end up at, where do I end up on the Y-axis there, Jack? 6. Nothing fancy. I call this the skip method. All right, if you want to find what the other endpoint is, always match it. Figure out how you went from one X to the other, match it. How do you go from one Y to the other? Match it. If you are concerned, because I know some of you are pretty hardcore, you want to do the best that you ever can every single time, and I respect that. How do I know that negative 3, 6 is my actual answer? Put it into the midpoint formula now. Put it into the midpoint formula. 1 plus negative 3 divided by 2. 4 plus 6 divided by 2, and you should get out the midpoint. Okay, quick check if you did this problem right or not. Okay, you can plug the 2 points in, and you should get the midpoint back. Questions? Skip method. Find the other one. Sam.
Never mind.
Go ahead. What do you got?
No, I figured it out.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. This will be on the quiz tomorrow, midpoint. Any issues? Because now we're going to go tackle our compasses and straight edges. You sure? No questions? Midpoint on the quiz tomorrow. It'll show up somehow. All right, kids. Here we go. Time for these compasses. This is not the only unit you'll use it in. Okay, you will use it in other units. What I'd like you to do right now is grab your compass. Anybody else here? Okay, this isn't going to be an everyday thing here, gentlemen. Got me? You're a geometry AV. Let's start acting like it. If there's an issue getting a compass, come see me privately. Okay, this is not going to be an everyday thing. Remember that. How we doing here? Everyone have a straight edge to use. Straight edge, straight edge. Same thing. All right, straight edges are easy to find. Yep. Plus, I didn't warn you guys ahead of time, so some of you guys batting over 2 here, huh? Whew. Okay, straight edges, easy to find. Doesn't have to be a ruler either, like I'm passing out right now. Okay, does not have to be a ruler. Okay, what I'd like you to do first, all right, is just practice using this bad boy. Okay, practice using it. Some of you guys may need to put the point down on yours. Make sure the point's down. If you have one of these compasses here, all right, make sure the point's down. And what I'd like you to do in some of the white space up here, not on the actual one here, or on the back. Do you guys have a back of your packet is blank? No, it's not. Okay, find some white space. Don't do any markings here, please. All right, find some white space up here and start making what I call arc marks, where you put your compass point down on your paper and you start swinging a couple arcs here, just so you can get the feel of your compass. I recommend holding it at the top. Don't grip it tight. Have a loose wrist. Put the compass point down and just start turning your wrist a little bit. Start turning your wrist. All right. I am never going to have you guys do a full circle. The most I'll have you guys do is probably a half circle. Okay. Probably even less than that though. So you don't need to make a full circle. I don't know if that's a me problem, is it? So I asked you guys to try it out before you came. Okay, try to make some arcs. Start getting a little I know it's not going to be comfortable right at the beginning, I get it. But again, my best piece of advice, hold it at the top so you can rotate your wrist. Don't grab a hold of this thing like the Hulk. All right, keep a loose wrist, loose grip on it. Okay. And I'm not looking for perfection right away. Looking good. All right, so here we go. First thing up, how do you know you are doing a problem that requires to use these in your straight edge? Okay, how do I know I need to use my compass? The directions say Construct. That's short for the word construction. Anytime you do a construction in this class, you need your compass and straight edge. All right, so anytime you are doing a construction, the directions say construct, I need my compass out. I need my straight edge. All right, if it says draw, you don't need it. Just pick up your darn pencil and draw what's being asked. All right, so you see the word construct, construction, that's when I need this bad boy ready to roll. So the first thing and the only thing I am going to show you today is how to use your compass to make a line segment that's congruent to a given one. What's congruent mean again? They're going to have the same what? They're going to have the same distance and length, and we do not use these to measure. These, if you're using a ruler, the only thing we use this for is a straight edge. All right? We don't go up here and go, oh, it's 8 inches. Let's measure 8 inches up here. That's not how we do it. This is for straight edge purposes only. All right, so what I want to do is I want to make a segment that's the same length as AB. First thing you need is a point and a segment that is longer than the one we're trying to copy. Okay, so you need to make a segment right now with your straight edge that is clearly longer than the one we're trying to copy. All right. And most of the times you have to do that on your own. I will not be providing you with that segment. Okay, you need to draw that first. Okay? Everyone have that? So that's step number 1, draw a segment that's longer than the one you're about to copy. Step 2, put your compass and open it up to the length of the line segment we are copying. So 1 point on A, pencil point on B. You are not making any markings. You're just opening it up. And then leave it that opening for right now. Do not open or close your compass after you measure how long AB is with the compass. Everyone have it opened up now. Okay, now we're going to come over to your segment we're doing the construction on. Take a look. All I'm doing, I measured AB. I'm going to come over to my segment that I'm doing the construction on. I'm going to put one of the points on the end point. And now I'm going to make an arc with my pencil that goes through the segment. Doesn't have to be huge. It just needs to be an arc that goes through the segment you're doing the construction on. Take your compass off after you do that. And congratulations, you did your first construction. Except now we got to clean it up a little bit. Label the new one CD, the congruent one CD. So I need to come over here and call this C, and then wherever my arc intersected, I have to call that D. And if they're congruent, what should show up here? That anybody who walks in this room now can look at these two and know they're congruent without saying it looks like it. What's got to go on here? What's got to go on here? Hash marks. Yep. You can put 2, 1, doesn't matter. There it is. Congratulations. It doesn't see, I know, guys, it doesn't see much because you're not ready for the hardcore stuff yet. You just got to do the basics before you can walk. Crawl before you walk. Also, last thing, never erase your markings. That's how I grade them. Do not erase these markings here. Okay, your arc marks. Do not erase them. I have a challenge question for you. What if I asked you for a line segment that is 2 times the length of AB? So I want a line segment that's double the length of AB. And look what we just did right here. how can I continue this construction to get a line segment that is double AB here? What do you got, Warren?
You just put it on you just draw a line on the other side of C. And
Okay.
you do the same thing.
So I could extend this, right? And then go this way. And then I'd have one that's double, right? Or was anybody going to say, put it on D, extend it out this way, and go here now? Yeah, I could. Because I'm going to ask that tonight on the homework, all right, for you to double a line segment. Okay, speaking of the homework, part of it's in the packet, part of it's on Google Classroom. Can you flip over to page 15 for me? Flip over to page 15. I want to make sure you understand how I want these done. Because there's some you have to think about. Okay, so for instance, number 1 says construct XY congruent to AB. So down below, do you see all that white space I provided? So you're going to go number 1. What do you have to draw first before you do anything with your compass? What's the first thing we always have to draw before we do anything? A line segment that looks longer than the one you are copying, correct. So you are going to make a line segment again, and then you're going to copy AB onto that line segment. Okay, so I should see 4 different line segments below on that white space. Everyone make sense? Okay, you always start out with the segment to do the constructions. So if you want to try working with people around you on that to get going on the homework, that might be a good idea. And I'll walk around to help you out with your compass if you need it.